तमेव लोकशङ्करं नमामि शङ्करं गुरुं नमामि शङ्करं गुरुं नमामि शङ्करं गुरुं।
जय जय चिन्मुद्रकरे जय जय शृङ्गाद्रिविहरणव्यग्रे जय जय पद्मजजाये जय जय जगदम्ब शारदे सदये। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Offering my Sashtanga Pranamas to the Padapadmas of the Ubhay Jagadgurus. Today we shall continue our discussion of the Kamalajadaitashtaka, the composition of the 33rd Sringeri Jagadguru, Jagadguru Shri Shri Satchidananda Shivabhinava Nrisimha Bharati Mahaswamiji. The 5th shloka in this stotra is Karmasvatmochiteshu sthirataradhishanam dehadardhyam tadartham dirghan chayuhu yashascha tribhuvana viditam papamargad viraktim satsangam satkahaya shravanamapi sada devi dattva kripabdhe vidyam shuddhancha buddhim kamalajadayite sattvarandehi mahyam. This is the 5th shloka. In this shloka, the Jagadguru has enumerated what a person must achieve in his life. So aside from the Shuddha Vidya and the Shuddha Buddhi that we are praying to Devi for, besides that, these are the goals to keep in mind as we lead our life. As you seek to structure the decisions you make, as you seek to prioritize what it is that you must achieve, these things are to be prioritized. So what are these? The first is Karma Swatmochiteshu Sthiratara Dhishanam. Sthiratara Dhishana, a firm resolve towards Atmochiteshu Karmasu, those activities that are proper for you. Dehadardhyam tadartham, in order to perform those activities, firmness of the body, healthiness of the body, a stout body. Dirghan chayuhu, a long lifespan. Yashascha tribhuvana viditam, world-renowned fame. Papamargad viraktim, an aversion to papa. Satsangam, the company of virtuous people, noble people. Sat kathaya shravanamapi, always being able to listen to good things. The sadvishaya shravana, being able to hear only auspicious things, good things and noble things. So all of this we are asking from Devi. So it is not just that we are asking this from Devi, but by enumerating these specifically, Acharya is telling us that a well-lived life will have all of these. So what is the first thing that you need? Acharya has started the shloka with Karmasu Atmochiteshu Sthiratara Dhishanam. As I said, this is a firm resolve, Sthiratara Dhishana. So not just a Sthira Dhishana, Sthiratara Dhishana. A very, very, very firm resolve or a very firm sense of duty towards Atmochiteshu Karmasu. Those activities that are fit for you or that are fit for oneself. What decides what activity is fit and what activity is unfit to perform? You and I, or a layman, or a normal person, is not the arbiter of such matters. We have Shastra, the Shruti and the Smriti, are what lay out the rules and the code of conduct in terms of what is proper and should be done and what is improper and should not be done. So those activities that are enjoined by Shastra are Atmochita Karma, karma that is fit for oneself. This, in another word, is also called Varnashrama Dharma. So as we all know, we have Ashrama Dharmas, what the rules and codes of conduct that one must follow throughout the span of one's life. So as a brahmachari, the priority is studying. As a grihastha, the priority is performing one's duties as a householder, helping society, and enjoying the pleasures of life that are not opposed to dharma. Then in Vanaprastha you start to slowly retract from the outside world, and in the last ashrama, the Turiya ashrama, sannyasa ashrama, you give up your bondage towards the material world and focus your sight on the higher truth, on Paramatma. So this is the sequence that an individual's life needs to take. And in accordance with that, Shastra has given us the rules that each ashrama needs to follow. The rules for a brahmachari are different from those of a grahastha. The rules of a grahastha are different from those of a vanaprastha, and those are different from those of a sannyasi. So based on what stage of life you are in, the atmochita karma will change. So we rely on Veda to tell us what that is. There is another word that we have in Shastra for this atmochita karma, and that is swadharma. We see this word come up a lot. And Bhagavan also stresses this in the Gita. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. This is a very famous shloka in the Gita. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha. It is better to partially follow one's own dharma rather than paradharmat svanushthitat, to completely follow the dharma of someone else. For example, it is better for a brahmachari to at least partially follow a brahmachari's dharma rather than for him to live life completely as a grahastha. And Paramatma then stresses the need for this. Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha. It is better to lose one's life in the performance of one's duty than to live doing the dharma of someone else. Paradharmo bhayavaha. Bhayan nama narakalakshanam bhayam. The papa that accrues from that is the bhaya that is associated with paradharma. So one's duty is better to be performed than someone else's duty. This is the simple summary of that. And this Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunah Paradharmat Svanashtita, this is so important that this Shlokartha is actually repeated twice in Gita. So once we get it in this form, and then we get this first half repeated again in another place. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunah Paradharmat Svanashtitat Svabhava Niyatam Karma Kurvan Napnoti Kilbisham. Having performed one's own Swadharma, you will be assured that Papa will not be accrued. So not performing one's Swadharma gives rise to a particular type of Papa called Pratyavaya. So one type of Papa is doing something that should not be done. For example, you should not lie. Lying is one type of Papa. But there is another type of Papa which is called Pratyavaya, wherein you have a duty that is enjoined, you are capable of performing that duty, and yet you do not do that. For example, a new Vatu has to do Sandhyavandana, but despite being capable of doing Sandhyavandana, being bodily able and having all the necessary resources at hand and all that, despite having all of this, he does not perform Sandhyavandana. That accrues a particular type of Papa called Pratyavaya. Karaniyasya akarane doshaha. The fault that ensues from not doing something that ought to be done. So, to avoid this Pratyavaya, we must perform a Swadharma, and besides that, because it is our Dharma, we should follow Swadharma. This is what the Atmochita Karma is. And how will we be able to properly adhere to our Swadharma? Only if we have a firm resolve towards it. And why is it that we need to have this resolve? What is the need of this Swadharma? There is a very great benefit that we get from following our Swadharma. Besides not getting Pratyavaya and all of that, there is a very great prayojana that we have. Bhagavan says in Gita, Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. This Swadharma is actually a means for us to be able to worship Paramatma, to serve Paramatma. How? That Paramatma is exceedingly great. His Mahatmya is exceedingly great. He encompasses everything. So how is it that we can even conceive of him and serve him? That is why, what is the nature of that Paramatma? Yatah pravrittir bhutanam, from which Paramatma the entire cosmos ensues. Yena sarvamidam tatam, that Paramatma by whom this entire cosmos is pervaded. So that is the greatness of Paramatma. This entire universe has sprung forth from him, and this entire universe is sustained by him and pervaded by him. How is it possible for one of us, for a normal human to serve him? If it is one person, we can do whatever service we can to that one person. If it is a group of people, we can try to serve that group of people. But how do you serve a being that is this, of this magnitude? So that is why Bhagavan has given us a simple upaya. Svakarmana tamabhyarshya siddhim vindati manavaha. Worshipping that Paramatma by his own duty, one can achieve siddhi, perfection. So the performance of one's own swadharma is a means for us to properly propitiate that Paramatma. So it is because swadharma has so many benefits that we must have a firm resolve towards performing our swadharma. Because even if we have a body and a mind that are capable of performing, even if we are in a proper environment, we will not do anything unless that shraddha is there towards our dharma. And it is the duty of parents, first and foremost, to inculcate that dridhatara, sthiratara dhishana, to inculcate that sthiratara dhishana in their children. Many people complain that we have performed the upanayana of a child, they are not doing upanayana, or we are trying to raise them with respect for Sanatana Dharma, they are not having respect. You must raise, it is the duty of the parents to raise the child in such a way that they have that sthiratara dhishana towards their swadharma. So that is the first thing, first and foremost, that is what Acharya is praying for, because without this, nothing else happens. Now, even if we have this resolve towards dharma, sometimes if our body does not cooperate, this is in vain, because if the body cannot do what needs to be done, even if you have the resolve, there is no prayojana with that. So that is why the next thing that Acharya is asking for is Dehadardhyan tadartham karma atmojita karmartham, so that I may fulfill my swadharma. I seek dehadardhya, firmness of the body, a stout body. There is no need to build a body to strengthen a body so that others can be tormented, or just for the looks of it, or for other purposes. The purpose of a firm and strong and healthy and hale body is that one's swadharma may be faithfully performed. And then it is not enough if you just have the resolve and a strong body. You need to be able to follow your swadharma for a long period of time, because the performance of karma, as we have discussed earlier, is to bring about chitta shuddhi, purity of mind. That is not something that ensues, or that is not something that comes about in a very short period of time. It requires karma to be practiced faithfully with shraddha for a long period of time. So that is why dirghan chayuhu, we seek a long lifespan, so that we may perform dharmic activities, help the world, help society, help our community, and also better ourselves and attain purity of mind. That is why even in Veda we say, Vyashema devahitai yadayuhu. Our ayushya needs to be devahita. It needs to be filled with dharmic activities. So dirghan chayuhu yashascha tribhuvana viditam. We seek fame. What is the need for fame? So this word yashas is a very particular word. We have another word called kirti. This is also used for fame. But kirti means that which is sung, or that which is talked about greatly. The difference between kirti and yashas is that kirti is a general term. Yashas specifically refers to that fame that is earned through dharmic acts. All types of kirti, all types of renown are not called yashas. Only fame that is earned through dharma is called yashas. That is why even in Raghuvamsha, Kalidasa Mahakavi refers to the Raghuvamsha kings as Yashase Vijigiyushunam. The Raghuvamsha kings sought to conquer for yashas. So there also the Mahakavi chose to use the word Yashas. It is not for mere fame that the Raghuvamsha kings led conquests, or it is not just for the extension of the kingdoms or to prove their dominion, but it was for the sake of establishing dharma across Bharata Khanda. So that is why Yashase Vijigishunam. They sought to conquer for dharmic fame. That is the meaning of that shloka. So it is the same yashas that we must also seek to earn. Yashascha tribhavana viditam. And also we must have papa marga dviraktim. So until now we have been discussing everything that we need to perform dharma. We need shraddha towards dharma. We need a strong body that can perform its dharma. We need a long lifespan that allows for the repeated performance of dharma. And we want yashas that ensues from performing dharma. Now we want the flip also, that we want abstinence from papa. Papa marga dviraktim. We want to shun papa. This is what Bhagavan calls in Gita as hrihi. When enumerating the Daivi Sampatti, so all qualities have been separated by Bhagavan into two categories. Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. Daivi Sampat Vimokshaya Nibandha Asuri Mata. The Daivi Sampat, inculcating the Daiva gunas, inculcating the Daiva qualities, will be conducive to one attaining moksha. And the Asura qualities, the Asuri Sampat, having those qualities will be conducive to one being exceedingly mired in samsara, being led into bondage after bondage after bondage. So while enumerating the Daivi Sampat, those qualities that will lead a sadhaka forward in his sadhana, Bhagavan has said, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, starting from there, Dayabhu Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas Tyagas Shantir Apaishunam, Dayabhutesh Valolutvam Mardavam Hari Rachapanam, Dayabhuteshu, mercy towards all beings, Alolutvam, not being overly engrossed in the experience of pleasure, Mardavam, being soft, having a soft heart and a soft mind. You should not be cruel and crude, but your mind should be soft. And hrihi means shame, and achapalam, not being fickle. What is the need for shame? Why is shame enumerated in the Daivi qualities? Because shame is usually what we experience after doing something wrong. Bhagavan has put the word hrihi in the Daivi Sampat because we must feel ashamed to do anything sinful. We must feel ashamed to do something that is adharmic. We must feel shame towards even adharmic thoughts. It is only if we have that much repugnance towards the adharmic path that we will shun it wholeheartedly and only seek out dharma. And we see that this is found in all of the Mahapurushas that we revered throughout our Itihasas and Puranas. So what is the story of any Mahapurusha that we have? He loved dharma so much and he shunned adharma so much that he would not follow adharma even at great cost to himself. That is the story of Harishchandra. Harishchandra had so much dislike for asatya that regardless of whatever he had to undergo, he would not speak an untruth. So it is this quality that we see commonly across all Mahapurushas. Arjuna also in Mahabharata. When Arjuna we have to remember in Mahabharata is the Amsha of Nara. So basically Arjuna is not just the son of Indra, but Arjuna is an Amsha of Vishnu. Just as Krishna is Vishnu himself in Mahabharata, Arjuna is an Amsha of Vishnu. We see not just in the Sambhava Parva, but Paramashiva himself tells this to Arjuna. Vyasa tells this to Ashwathama as well as Yudhishthira. So in numerous places across Mahabharata, it is very clear that Arjuna is not a normal human like the rest of the Pandavas. But he is Nara himself. All the other people, the Pandavas, Ashwathama, Drona, Bhishma, Karna, these are all Amshas of Devatas. But Arjuna is specific in that he is not just the Amsha of Indra, but he is also the Amsha of Vishnu himself. So when you have Arjuna like that, Arjuna is telling Uttarakumara his names, the birudas that he has earned by his conduct. And in those we have Arjuna Phalguno Jishnu, Kiriti Shvetavahanaha, Bibhatsur Vijayah Krishnaha, Savyasachi, Dhananjaya. These are the 10 names that Arjuna was renowned by throughout India for his conduct. One of these is Bibhatsuhu. Bibhatsu literally means someone that feels disgust, someone that is revolted, someone that has distaste for something. That is what Bibhatsu means. Why is Arjuna called this? Arjuna himself explains to Uttara that Arjuna was called Bibhatsu by everyone in Bharatavarsha in those times because he would never commit an act that would be loathed by Kshatriyas in battle. Whatever a Dharmatma would loathe, whatever a Dharmatma would feel distaste for, whatever a Dharmika would feel repugnance for, Arjuna would never perform such an act. So it is because Arjuna led a life by such a conduct, and it is because Arjuna, even in war, where it is very easy to transgress Dharma, even in times of war, it is because Arjuna did not transgress Dharma that he was called Bibhatsu, someone that had hatred and disgust and repugnance towards Adharma. So we see that across all the Nayakas of our Itihasas and Puranas, this Papa Margad Virakti, this distaste for Papa is evident. And to finish off, the last two things that Acharya is asking for in this shloka is Satsangam, the company of good people. Because it is well known to all of us that our tendencies are shaped by the company that we keep. That is why if we wish to get a Sadgati, if we wish to earn that Dharma and that Jnana which are only attainable by noble people and virtuous people, we must surround ourselves with such people. That is why Bhagavad Pada also says, Loke Sajjana Sangati Reka Bhavati Bhavarnavatarane Nauka. Satsangatya, the company of Satpurushas, is the only boat that will let us cross this ocean of samsara. And when we are with such Satpurushas, what is it that we should do? We should not drag them down to our level, but we should listen to what they have to tell us. We should listen to the dharmas that they will instruct us on. We should listen to the dharmas that they know, that they have learned throughout the course of their lives. That is Sat Kathaya Shravanam. Hearing only tales and stories of Dharma, hearing only those Leelas of Bhagavan, that is what we must seek to focus our ears on. So Sat Sangam, Sat Kathaya Shravanati, Sada Devi Dattva Kripabdhe. We seek that Devi gives us all of this because these are the guidelines, these are the meter sticks for dharmic life. If we can follow, if we can attain all of these qualities that Acharya has told in this shloka, let's put aside the jnana and moksha and all of that. At least the life that we lead will be dharmic. It will be a virtuous life. It will be a righteous life. And that in turn will be conducive to achieving chitta shuddhi and jnana. So let us pray to Devi that we may obtain these qualities. Namah Shankaraya.
Namami Shankaram Guru